Did you know that the average American spends over $18,000 a year on non-essential items? That's money going toward things we often don't need and will never use again. Shocking, right? But here's the truth. Most of us are spending without thinking on gadgets, clothes, and services that add little value to our lives. In this video, I'm going to share the 6 things I'll never buy as a minimalist. These aren't your usual stop buying stuff tips. I'm diving into the real reasons behind why I gave up certain purchases, and how it's helped me save money, reduce stress, and live a more intentional life. I promise, some of these might surprise you. Stick around and learn how saying no to these common purchases can free up more cash for the things that truly matter. Ready to make smarter choices and stop wasting money? Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Gadgets that gather dust. As a minimalist, one of the first things I stopped buying was unnecessary gadgets. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of the latest tech release. But here's the truth. Most gadgets quickly become obsolete or end up gathering dust. In fact, studies show that 80% of the gadgets people buy are used less than once a month. It's a cycle that costs money, time, and space. I used to think that having the latest smartphone, tablet, or smart speaker made my life easier. But then, I realized they weren't improving my day-to-day life. Instead, they just created clutter, distracted me, and drained my bank account. According to a report by Deloitte, the average American household spends over $1,500 per year on technology. I couldn't help but wonder if that money could be spent more wisely. I began to simplify my tech collection. Instead of buying the newest phone every year, I started using my current one until it wore out. Not only did this save me money, but it also reduced the constant cycle of upgrading that had me always wanting more. The same goes for gadgets like smartwatches, fitness trackers, and kitchen devices. One powerful realization came from reading The Minimalist Home by Joshua Becker. He wrote, "The things you own end up owning you." This simple quote made me see that having too many gadgets wasn't just about clutter, it was about being owned by the things I thought I needed. I realized that owning less tech allowed me to be more present, less distracted, and even more productive. When I stopped chasing the latest tech trends, I discovered the power of quality over quantity. I now focus on gadgets that add real value to my life. For example, a high-quality laptop for work, a simple phone for communication, and a well-made coffee maker. These things support my lifestyle, not complicate it. If you're thinking of jumping on the next tech bandwagon, ask yourself, do I really need it, or is it just a temporary impulse? Instead of buying gadgets that gather dust, invest in those that genuinely make your life easier. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about clarity and intentionality. Chapter 2. Fast fashion? No thanks. Let's talk about fashion. I used to be a sucker for fast fashion, always chasing the newest trends. But here's the thing, buying cheap, trendy clothes only leads to disappointment in the long run. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions. The waste and environmental impact are shocking. The real turning point for me came when I realized how much money I was spending on items I wore only a handful of times. In fact, the average American spends $1,800 on clothing every year, much of it going towards fast fashion. But after just a few washes, those clothes lose their shape, color, and appeal. What's the point of buying something that doesn't even last? I decided to stop buying from fast fashion brands. Instead, I focused on building a wardrobe with high-quality, timeless pieces that I could mix and match. The idea of a capsule wardrobe started to make sense, just a few carefully chosen items that all work together. It was a game changer. One of the best strategies I found was investing in classic, durable items. Simple pieces like well-made jeans, neutral-colored shirts, and sturdy shoes that never go out of style. In The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, Marie Kondo talks about finding joy in the things we own. That's exactly what happened when I started choosing quality over quantity in my wardrobe. Every item now sparks joy because I know it's something I truly value. Instead of buying 5 trendy items that will be out of style next season, I now buy 1 or 2 high-quality pieces that last for years. Not only does this save me money, but it also simplifies my life. No more closet clutter, no more impulse buys. The money I save by skipping fast fashion goes towards experiences that truly enrich my life, travel, hobbies, or even saving for the future. It's a simple yet powerful shift. Minimalism isn't just about cutting back, it's about making intentional choices that align with your values. Chapter 3. Subscription services that suck your bank account. Here's something I'm sure many of you can relate to: subscription services. From streaming platforms to meal kits, we've all been tempted by those must-have subscriptions. But when I took a closer look at my spending, I realized that many of these subscriptions were draining my bank account without adding enough value. In fact, a study from Consumer Reports found that the average American household spends around $200 per month on subscriptions. That's over $2,400 a year, money that could be spent on something more meaningful. Many of us sign up for services without fully realizing the costs or the fact that we aren't even using them that much. I started by canceling subscriptions I didn't use regularly. It was a relief to realize I didn't need 3 streaming services or 5 different monthly boxes delivered to my door. One of the easiest changes I made was cutting out unnecessary streaming services. While it may feel like a small expense, these monthly fees add up quickly. According to a survey by Deloitte, over 50% of people subscribe to multiple video streaming services without using them to their full potential. Another strategy I adopted was limiting subscriptions to things that brought me long-term value. For example, I kept my audiobook subscription because it helped me grow personally and professionally. But I canceled meal kit services and magazine subscriptions that weren't worth the cost. The Minimalist Entrepreneur, by Sahil Lavingia, taught me that simplifying expenses is a key part of living a minimalist lifestyle. He emphasizes the power of eliminating the noise and focusing on what truly matters. For me, this meant cutting out unnecessary subscriptions and redirecting that money into things that enriched my life, like savings or investing in experiences. Not only did I save money, but I also regained control over my time. By canceling services that didn't add value, I was no longer bombarded by endless options and distractions. Minimalism is about making space for what's important, and subscriptions that don't serve a purpose just clutter your life, both financially and mentally. If you want to save money and regain your peace of mind, take a good look at your subscriptions. Ask yourself, which ones are essential, and which ones can go? The less you spend on subscriptions, the more room you have to invest in your future, your hobbies, or even your own growth. If you're enjoying these tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chapter 4. Decorative Clutter, a Silent Money Waster. Let's talk about home decor. When I first started embracing minimalism, one of the hardest habits to break was buying decorative items for my home. You know, those little knick-knacks and trendy pieces that make a space look stylish for a short while but quickly lose their charm. The problem with these items is that they accumulate over time, creating unnecessary clutter and empty space in your bank account. Research from the University of California shows that clutter can contribute to stress and anxiety. The more things you own, the more you have to clean, organize, and take care of. And those decorative items? They rarely add lasting value. According to a survey by Statista, Americans spend over $14 billion annually on home decor items that mostly end up in storage or tossed out after a few years. That's a lot of money wasted on things that serve no purpose. What I realized was that my home didn't need to be filled with things to feel welcoming. Instead of purchasing random decor, I started choosing a few key pieces that were functional and meaningful. A well-placed piece of art, a comfortable throw blanket, or a single statement plant became the focal points in my home. As Joshua Becker writes in The Minimalist Home, the objects we surround ourselves with should add purpose, beauty, or function. Instead of buying something simply because it looked good in the store, I now ask myself, does this enhance my daily life? If the answer is no, it doesn't belong in my home. I also started embracing the beauty of empty space. A clean, simple environment promotes relaxation and helps me focus. I don't need to clutter my shelves or tables with items that just collect dust. The key to minimizing home decor is to focus on quality, not quantity. For example, a single, well-made vase can be more meaningful than 10 small, cheaply made ones. The same goes for furniture. A few high-quality pieces that serve multiple functions are more valuable than a room full of items you don't truly need. By focusing on functionality and simplicity, I've saved money and transformed my space into a peaceful sanctuary. The less decor I bought, the more room I had to breathe, and the more money I had for experiences that truly matter. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about curating your environment with intention. Chapter 5. The allure of expensive experiences. When it comes to spending money, experiences often get a free pass. We've all heard the saying, invest in experiences, not things, but what happens when those experiences come with hefty price tags? From expensive vacations to high-cost concerts, it's easy to overspend on once-in-a-lifetime experiences that don't always live up to their hype. Statistics show that the average American spends over $2,000 a year on vacations alone. That doesn't include the money spent on luxury activities, fancy dinners, or once-in-a-lifetime events. But here's the truth. Many of these high-cost experiences don't offer lasting value. According to research by Cornell University, people often find that their most memorable and fulfilling experiences are simple, low-cost activities like hiking, cooking at home, or enjoying a quiet day in nature. Minimalism encourages a shift in mindset. Instead of chasing expensive vacations or extravagant events, I started finding joy in simple, meaningful experiences. A weekend road trip, a visit to a nearby park, or a cooking class at home with friends became just as fulfilling as a costly getaway. In The Joy of Less, Francine J. writes, "Life is about experiences, not things. But those experiences don't have to cost a fortune." One strategy I adopted was to prioritize experiences that enriched my life without draining my savings. For example, I found joy in exploring my own city. I visited local museums, attended free events, and took up hobbies that didn't require large investments. This not only saved money but also allowed me to appreciate the simple pleasures that are often overlooked. The key is to remember that not all experiences need to be extravagant to be valuable. By shifting my focus to meaningful, low-cost activities, I discovered a deeper sense of fulfillment. Experiences like spending time with family, reading a book, or enjoying a quiet evening have become far more rewarding than anything I could buy. Minimalism isn't about avoiding experiences, it's about being more intentional with the ones you choose. It's about embracing simple pleasures that align with your values, not keeping up with the latest trends or Instagram-worthy moments. Chapter 6. The luxury of convenience. Why I don't buy into it. Let's face it, convenience is tempting. In today's world, we can have almost anything delivered to our doorstep in a matter of hours. We've all been lured by the convenience of meal kits, pre-packed meals, or automatic subscriptions that promise to save us time and effort. But when I looked closely, I realized that the luxury of convenience often comes with a hefty price tag. A report by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that people who prioritize convenience often end up spending 20–30% more on products and services than those who make thoughtful purchases. While services like meal kits and pre-packaged goods may save time, they often cost much more than cooking from scratch or buying ingredients in bulk. I decided to stop buying into the convenience trap. Instead of relying on pre-packaged meals or subscription boxes, I started planning my meals, shopping for fresh ingredients, and cooking at home. Not only did I save money, but I also learned new skills and gained a deeper appreciation for the food I ate. In The Minimalist Entrepreneur, Sahil Lavingia talks about how the desire for convenience often leads to unnecessary spending. He writes, "When you prioritize convenience over value, you end up paying for things that don't add lasting value to your life." That really resonated with me. I realized that I wasn't just spending money, I was sacrificing long-term satisfaction for short-term ease. One of the simplest strategies I found was batching tasks. Instead of making multiple trips to the store throughout the week, I started shopping once, planned my meals in advance, and prepped everything for the week. This reduced my reliance on convenience foods and allowed me to save both time and money. Convenience isn't inherently bad, but when it starts to drain your resources without providing real value, it's time to reconsider. Instead of paying extra for convenience, I now focus on simplifying processes to save time and money. This could be as simple as buying in bulk, avoiding impulse buys, or choosing products that serve multiple purposes. Minimalism has taught me that the luxury of convenience often comes with a hidden cost. By choosing thoughtful, intentional purchases instead of the easy option, I'm able to live a more fulfilling and financially stable life. It's not about avoiding convenience altogether, it's about making better, smarter choices that support my goals and values. If you found these tips useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more minimalist and frugal living content.